Alright, what's up guys? I have something special for you today with this video because today I'm going to be telling a story about a special individual I had the misfortune of working with when I worked retail. I'm honestly not sure how many of these storytime videos I'll do, but I definitely have a good number in my head, a lot of those being from high school. But yeah, I guess I'll start telling the story. So it was a normal day of work just as any other, you know, stocking shelves and all that. Well, that day I heard that some new people had gotten hired and I thought, alright, maybe there's some chicks my age, because you know, everyone likes that type of shit, you know? Well, unfortunately, there was none of that, and instead we got a guy that we called Fat Jeffrey Dahmer. He's fat! More on why he had that nickname later. Well, anyway, I met the guy, and as you would expect, he did look like a fat Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, just take this picture that you can see and add 200 pounds, complete with the same glasses too. I don't think I realized how shitty, how just fucking soul-crushing the next few weeks would be, because this guy fucking sucked. Now, at first he seemed fine, just like your typical guy. Not really a guy I would bother being friends with, but not bad. Well, that quickly fell apart, because he was so fucking annoying, dude. Now, I don't mind small talk with friends. I had my own group of friends while I worked there that I talked to a lot. But this was not small talk, this was borderline fucking stupid talk, because this guy would randomly, just out of the blue, ask you questions about the stupidest fucking bullshit. Like, I remember one of the random questions he asked me is if I used charcoal or coal when I grill. Motherfucker, you don't even know if I grill, and how is that question important? Well, it wasn't just that, dude, because he would not fucking stop. There was a new question every 10 seconds, like, I'm not fucking joking, dude. I just wanted to work over here, and he would distract me with a new question whenever there was silence. I was wondering at a certain point if this guy couldn't imagine the apple, because holy fuck, he couldn't just retreat into his own thoughts for even a minute. Then there were more questions, like, do you have a knife collection? And do you like drones? I was starting to wonder if this guy was a glowy. This guy specifically wants to know if I have a knife collection, or if I like drones. Like, I don't know, dude. What would he do based on how I answered? Would he come to my house, kick the door down, and rummage through everything to make sure I'm not building the tools of the Prophet Muhammad? Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! I was fearing for my life, dude. This motherfucker was unpredictable. Who knows what question he would ask next? Well, anyway, I was extremely happy, to say the least, on days where I didn't have to work with him. I would let out an audible sigh of relief when I checked the list and didn't see his name on there. Now let's fast forward a bit to another day, and well, I can definitely say that this pissed me off, to say the least. We had to partner up to do our work that day, and he stopped to say something to me. Now, I just thought in my head, this motherfucker is gonna ask another question, I'm sure. What's he gonna ask me next? Is he gonna ask me where I keep the nuclear codes? Like, I have no fucking clue, dude.
Putin uses the N-word. I call it the N-word. He uses the N-word, the nuclear word, all the time. That's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. He uses it on a daily basis.
But no, instead he tells me a story about something that happened that day. Now, when I worked there, I had a good buddy of mine named Mike that I loved working with. When we worked together, you knew it would be a good day. Well, you would not believe what this motherfucker says. So sometime that day, some obnoxious ass girl and Mike were arguing about something. Which, you know, it was more playful than anything when I asked Mike about it. Nothing serious. Well, this fat fuck, this absolute blob, Jeffrey, gets in between both of them. And just imagine the fattest Discord mod speaking right now, and he says, "Guys, we need to stop arguing right now." And he even told me that he said this in an angry tone. Now I was pissed. I knew for a fact now that I didn't like this guy. You got in the way of my good buddy and some liberal arts major chick being playful? Now that's unforgivable. So fast forward to me talking to Mike about this guy, and I tell him that I can't fucking stand Jeffrey. He won't stop asking questions. Well, Mike couldn't stand him either, and no one on my team could actually. So I thought next time he asks me another question that's probably just used to profile me, I'm gonna punch him in his fat ass face. In Minecraft, of course. So fast forwarding again a bit, and I have to work with Jeffrey again, dude. So I already knew it would be another bad day. As we're doing our tasks, he asks yet another question. Do you like flamethrowers? I mean, doesn't everyone like weapons? weapons that set motherfuckers on fire? In Call of Duty, obviously. And then you wouldn't believe what he says next. He tells me that we should go hang out at the gun range sometime, and I just knew this was a red flag, dude. Now, I'm not a libtard, so don't take it that way, but this motherfucker looked like Jeffrey Dahmer, and he wanted the both of us to hang out at a gun range? I knew that wasn't a safe situation. It's like all those women who would rather be in the woods with a bear instead of a man. How retarded could you be to want to be in that situation? Obviously, I'd prefer to be stuck in the woods with someone who doesn't pose any danger to me, and Jeffrey Dahmer ain't it, dude. Now, I'm gonna fast forward for the final time, because we're reaching the end of this story. I was working with Mike and also another guy I was cool with named John. Well, it turns out that Mike found something unbelievable, and he wanted to show it to both me and John, and needless to say, it was fucking horrifying. He found Jeffrey's Facebook page, and if you went to the relationship status, it showed that he's married. And who would Jeffrey be married to? A guy who works in the pharmacy area. That's when I knew this motherfucker is gay.
He's gay!
And it all hit me at once. This motherfucker kept asking me so many questions, but why? And when I realized, I definitely wanted to throw up. But it gets even worse than that. And not just because I found out that not one, but two of the workers are gay. Jeffrey got fired. And well, that isn't what was worse, because that's better if we're being honest. But before Jeffrey left, he said this to both Mike and John. So hey, if you guys ever want to come to my house, we can get some candles set up and you know, all that good shit. And that's all I needed to hear. That's when I knew we were right, when we said this motherfucker looked like Jeffrey Dahmer, because he definitely lived up to the name. Who knows what would have happened if one of us had gone to his house, dude? Would he turn our ball sacks into a lampshade? Like, that was definitely a dangerous situation. Well, me, Mike, and John, and a blonde chick I worked with, and she was definitely fucking hot, and she was also into me, got together and talked about that shit, and we were all definitely freaked out. Now, maybe she would have been safe because Jeffrey Dahmer didn't go after women, but not the rest of us. I think it's safe to say that none of us ever wanted to see Jeffrey again, but yeah, that's the end of the story. Hope everyone enjoyed listening to that, because I definitely know that's one of the freakier individuals I've had to deal with, and it's a good reason why shit libs will never convince me to tolerate the gays. But yeah, see you guys.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.